Hi, it's Alissa from Maintaining Motherhood, where I talk about simplifying to enjoy life more through motherhood, organization, recipes, and education. Today, I wanted to give you a tour of my minimalist kitchen. So I talked a while back about kind of doing a minimalism refresh and going through and just making sure that I've got all the clutter out. And today I finished doing my kitchen, just like the dishes area. And I have to say I was pretty impressed with myself because all I got rid of were, I had like a stack of cups and just some like little tiny things like a measuring cup that I've never used. And then I just needed to relocate some medicine droppers that my kids have been using to play water beads with. But that was it, maybe like 7 cups total. So I was pretty impressed with myself. Anyway, I wanted to give you a tour of my kitchen and just kind of show you what dishes I have and everything so that you can see what a minimalist kitchen looks like for a family of 9. Now granted, we have a lot of dishes because that's a lot of people, but I try and keep household items like specialty type items to a minimum. So we do have things like an Instant Pot and a crock pot because we use those things a lot. Once my crock pot dies, I'll probably just be rid of it since the Instant Pot can do the crock pot setting as well. So I don't need 2 things that do the same thing. I'm more familiar with the crock pot and honestly haven't tried the slow cooker part of the Instant Pot yet, which is why I still have both. And then we have a bread maker that I do keep in a different area because I don't use it that often, since 1 loaf would only be used as a side for a dinner. I can't make 1 loaf for sandwiches anymore because we just have so many people. So that is probably being phased out as well. I just need to kind of accept that I'm done with that, and I wasn't doing that part of the kitchen today. So but I don't have a whole bunch of other little tiny doodads or knickknacks or specialty items. Everything that we use gets used at least once a week, and so everything in our kitchen is highly utilized. So I just wanted to kind of show you where I keep everything, how I store it, kind of my reasoning behind it, some of the items that are must-have items for me, and yeah, so come on. Okay, this is my kitchen setup. I have upper cupboards, and then I have the lower cupboards. And then I have 1 cupboard up above the fridge. So I want to show you how I utilize all of the space. Okay, and this first cupboard, these are all the big plates that we use every day. The smaller plates we use for the little kids, they're like a salad plate size. So we use these for the little kids or for having like side roll or side salad. And then these are all of our bowls, which may seem like an astronomical amount until we have something like oatmeal for breakfast and soup for dinner, and then we don't even have enough bowls. So yes, it seems like a lot, but there are 9 of us. Here's where I keep all of our vases, and we just have a minimal amount. So we have 3 larger vases and 2 small vases for flowers or whatever, a jug for water or juice. And then I have here the things that we use frequently, but kind of take up a lot of room. So we have a rice strainer, a regular strainer, and then the cheese grater, which we use from time to time. And then up top we just have dishes for if we're entertaining. I've got plates here, a separate dish for each type of silverware, and then we've got cups and extra utensils in that. Here we have all our glasses, so all the plastic cups and baby's cup are here. These are extra kid cups that are glass. We have more extra juice cups, mugs, and then our fancy cups up here. Okay, this is our silverware drawer. So we have disposable straws. We have some disposable straws and then these stainless steel ones. We use these for syrup or other condiments, dipping sauces, extra bottle parts, measuring spoons, measuring cups. And then here we have extra plastic bowls and plastic cups. We mostly use these for snacks. And then we have all of our silverware and little kid silverware. Okay, in this lower cupboard we have our hand mixer, which we use for cakes and cookies, baking pans. Behind this is our waffle maker and cake pans. Then we have our griddle, which we use for all of our pancakes, a toaster, and back behind there is our popcorn maker. And we have an air popper, which we don't use as often because I like the oil better. And then our blender, and then we have a salsa maker back there that we use for baby food. So in this drawer, we keep napkins, pot holders. This is a spoon holder thing for when you're cooking, all the grilling tools, and then the bell that the kids like to ring for meal times. I prefer to use rags instead of napkins, so we have, these are just washcloths that we use, and then towels to wipe up spills. And then I buy these big microfiber cloths and would just cut them into like fourths to use as washcloths for the granite countertops. And yes, we have an entire drawer dedicated to water bottles. We use these for hikes or for bike rides. And then when the kids take picnic lunches, then we will take these. In our warmer drawer under the oven, we just keep our pans for cookie sheets. So we've got too big and too small, and we use these frequently for cookies and other fun treats. So above the microwave we keep the knife sharpener, some ice cube trays, and then those two totes have utensils that we don't use as often, like a meat thermometer and birthday candles and matches and lighters, and then all of our cookbooks. In this cupboard we keep all of our spices and our vitamins. So I keep the just like vitamins and medicines up on the top. In the middle I keep more baking type spices, and on the bottom I keep more cooking type spices. And I keep them to a minimum. I find that I use garlic salt more than I use anything else. This cupboard is where we keep all of our like Pyrex type dishes. And so on the bottom we have the bigger ones, and the middle shelf we have the smaller ones. The top is the shelf where I keep the dishes that we don't use quite as often. I use the tiniest ones for the baby food, and the square ones we don't tend to use as often. So we use the circle ones a lot. And then I have a whole bin full of all of the lids. And our Pyrex dishes, the lids started cracking and getting old, and so we just bought these flexible lids that have actually worked really well. And then I keep our knives here as well so that they're out of reach of the kids. In this drawer we keep all of our kitchen utensils, and obviously it does not stay this nice all the time. I wish it did. The long ones go here. In this we have just all the smaller utensils, can openers, scissors, ice cream scooper, you name it, it just kind of goes in there, potato peelers, and we keep the kid knives back there. And this drawer, this would be considered the junk drawer, but for us, we've got all the different baggies here, tin foil, we keep extra magnets here, the kid phone charger, keys, lids for the jars, extra clips to close chip bags and cereal bags, Sharpies to write dates on stuff and write on the freezer bags, and then these the kids use to put on their cups to label whose cup is whose. Okay, in this cupboard I have the rolling pin. We have two 9x13 pans and then a smaller 8-inch square pan. All of our pot lids go here, cutting board, cookie rack, and then we have like 3 extra large lids that are back there. In this cupboard I have all my pots. These two are the ones that I use the most. Frying pan and then the soup pan. I have smaller ones in the back that I don't use that often, but I use them for side dishes. And then in the back there, I have bigger bowls that I don't use that often, but I still use them frequently enough to warrant keeping them. And then here I have my Instant Pot and my crock pot, and I have an apple quarter peeler slicer in the back there. So this is the cupboard above the fridge. I've got all the loaf pans, cupcake tins, cake pans, some extra little cups, my mat that I roll out dough on, some extra water bottles that they're too tall to fit in the drawer. We use these dishes for camping, some extra silverware. When we have people over and they want to take leftovers, we just give them these, then I don't feel bad if they get returned or not. But I don't have to store like sour cream containers. And then an extra blender motor. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so I know that you like this kind of content, and then subscribe below so that you can see other videos that I have coming out. Thanks!